Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. All right, y'all. So, this reading made me want to give you a quote, but I could not remember the quote. And I tried to Google and paraphrase it. It didn't exactly come out, but if you know it, help me. There is a quote that says something like, if somebody walks under a tree and gets hit by a branch, you are the type of person that is not going to walk under that same tree and get hit by that same branch because you just saw what happened to them. So you don't need to repeat the steps. Okay. Now, this entire reading is about a curse breaker, aka a light being, and the devil. And the devil is after one thing that this curse breaker or this light being has, and it's wisdom. Whatever doesn't allow you to walk under a tree and get hit in the head with the same branch as everybody else is wisdom. In order to be a curse breaker, you are seated inside of a group of people who have all fallen and become prey to the same curse. So let's go back to that same quote I just gave you. It's about the tree, right? The devil is the tree. And the devil has a lot of territory. And the devil needs people to cross paths with his trees and to get hit in the head. Because when you get hit in the head with the branch, the curse lives. The devil thrives. Right? Everybody is sick and living out the same curse. Well, here comes the curse breaker in the light being. You saw your mama, your daddy, your granddaddy, your grandma, your auntie, your uncle, your big cousins. You saw everybody do something in your family. AKA, everybody in your family walked under a tree, got hit in the head with a branch, and suffered a consequence. Here you come, on assignment by the Most High, the light being that you are, and you're like, I'm not going that way. But the problem with you being a curse breaker, I don't think the devil would mind so much if you just avoided not taking that path. You know what I mean? If you were just like, nah, I'm gonna walk this way. I don't really want to have to deal with that. But to be the curse breaker, not only do you avoid the branch under the tree rooted by the devil, but you chop the tree down. So this is the biggest problem that the devil has with you. You mess up the landscape of the devil's territory. I do have the devil card in this reading, okay? So I'm not just being like, ominous. But yeah, right? And so this is about the devil recognizing that curse breakers are absolutely a problem because you take away the territory that the devil has rooted in families, generations, lineages, and legacies. The devil loses real estate when curse breakers and light beings show up. You avoid the branch, you avoid the tree, but you chop the tree down. You break the curse. So to be called a curse breaker or a light being, you are someone that deactivates magical traps and curses in order to retrieve the treasures. Every time you chop down a tree, you get a treasure. Something is there for you waiting, but you got to chop it down first, right? Now, the devil knows you're coming. The thing that doesn't allow you to hit that branch, I mentioned this, is your wisdom. Let me talk about your wisdom. I have a couple quotes here, and these are the quotes that Google gave me when I was trying to summarize and paraphrase the quote that I was really looking for. One quote says, a mistake repeated more than once is a choice. Think about your family. Think about the curses that you break. And the reason why I'm saying family is, yes, I literally have a handmade card that says curse breaker light being, but I also have a card that says kin. When we hear kin, somebody's kin to me, we think that they are a relative, they are family. But I want you to just consider this to be a village. When I say kin in this reading, I want you to understand that it takes a village in order to stop a curse breaker or light being from chopping down one of the devil's trees. Devil energy, dark energy, demonic energy loves to be rooted in family trees. Curse breakers chop those trees down. So, kin is not only your relatives and your family, but this reading says that because you have a certain kind of wisdom, the devil recognizes that it takes a village in order to beat you, in order to stop you, in order to put your light out. And so if there is one trick that the devil has taught the people in your family or closest to you, this trick would be called the curse of the flying monkey. Because it takes a village, you have people around you in your family that have some type of dark gift. This is just like the devil says, listen, if you work with me, I'm going to need you to do something. And I'm going to teach you how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to do it well. I'm going to teach you this trick, and it is going to work continuously. All you got to do is work it, and it's going to work. This is called the flying monkey. So because it takes a village to beat you in order to put your light out, flying monkeys are needed. What is a flying monkey? A flying monkey is an assistant foe. They are an assistant enemy, right? This is somebody that your enemy hires. Let me newsflash, not all flying monkeys know that they have been hired by your enemy. Y'all, now that is the devil right there. That is the trick that the devil taught them. You can hire a flying monkey and you can use them in order to do your bidding without them even knowing that they're doing your bidding. That is what has been seeded inside the roots of your family in order to stop you from dropping down trees. All right, I have another quote for you. It's first of all, the first quote I gave you, that a mistake repeated more than once is a choice, that is by Y'all Love History. So I wanted to give the names because it may relate to some of y'all in some kind of way. That quote is by a Brazilian lyricist and novelist who is still alive today, Paulo Coelho. Okay? A mistake repeated more than once is a choice. Next quote. From the errors of others, a wise man corrects his own. This is what I mean about your wisdom. You are a wise man. For y'all that know, I'm going to go to King Solomon, okay? We're getting there, okay? That's the type of wisdom you have, King Solomon. So, from the errors of others, a wise man corrects his own. I don't have to get hit with the same branches in my family tree that everybody got hit by because I am a wise man, which means I can watch you get fucked up from all of your choices and be like, I ain't making that choice. Nope. And I'm calling it a choice and not a mistake because a lot of these people do this shit every day, continuously, year after year, relationship after, right? You don't have to do these things because of your wisdom. And that is a problem because your wisdom fucks up the devil's real estate. All right. That quote I gave you, from the errors of others, a wise man corrects his own. That is from somebody named Paglilius Sirius. This is a Latin writer who was a Syrian slave who was brought to Rome. Okay? From the errors of others, a wise man corrects his own. Finally, this is my favorite quote. Only a fool learns from his own mistakes. The wise man learns from the mistakes of others. That is by Otto von Bismarck. Famous. This was a German statesman, famous for unifying Germany in 1871. All right, that's all the history I got. Those are the quotes, but these quotes describe you as the curse breaker, the light being in your family. And what allows you to not hit that branch, what gives you the power to chop down a tree, is your wisdom. Now, we got to go to King Solomon, because when I think of wisdom, growing up with Christian, I won't say roots, because I've never seen in my own family Christianity be practiced purely, like it's spoken about purely, but in practice, I've never seen anybody really walk that walk, right? So when I think of wisdom, just because that's my own personal foundation, I immediately think of King Solomon. What is wisdom? First, wisdom is the ability to use what you know to make good choices. Okay? I'm going to act kindly. I'm going to solve problems effectively. That is what happens when you employ and apply wisdom. Wisdom allows you to stop and think before you act. All of this shit sounds very basic, but in life, when everything is moving and you have choices to make and there's pressure and there's emotion and there's bills and there's all kind of shit, a lot of people don't have wisdom. It seems easy when I kind of describe it, but y'all, it's not there for many, for most. But for the curse breaker, for the light being, you have an inexhaustible amount of it, which is why you're a problem. So anyway, if you can use your knowledge to do the right thing for yourself and for others, this is essentially what your wisdom affords you with, okay? So let's go to King Solomon for a minute. King Solomon had a desire to be a just leader, but King Solomon also knew that he was young. And if I'm young, there's shit I don't know that I don't know, right? And so if I want to be a just leader, I need wisdom. Now, specifically when King Solomon asked for wisdom, there were 3 components that he was thinking of mostly. The first was, I need an understanding heart. This is what wisdom gives you. As the curse breaker and as the light being, the same energy that lived and existed inside of King Solomon is what exists inside of you. When I'm saying that you have an understanding heart, I'm saying this means that your mind has a hearing heart. You have an understanding mind, which means that your heart can hear. Y'all, when I was writing this down, I thought about something I said a while ago. It was actually in this video that I lost a good amount of subscribers. But I was describing my issue with cynicism. And I was saying that sometimes in the comment section, the way a comment is written, I can hear your heart, not on purpose, but it's like I can hear your heart. And a cynical heart is a heart that is closed off to God. The Most High can't reach you until you open it up, right? But, okay, so when you're writing, I can hear the cynicism or the absence or the lack thereof, right? And so we don't always have to be happy or pleased with everything. I'm not saying don't be pissed off with the state or the condition of your life. Be that, do that, right? But there is a way to still allow God to move through your heart in order to fix. But if there's no opening, you can forget about it. And so sometimes people write and I can hear that there is no opening. You know, that is an aspect of wisdom. An understanding mind and a hearing heart. Second aspect of the wisdom that King Solomon requested in order to be a just leader was discernment of right and wrong. So this is what allows you not to be hit in the head by the same branch, right? I've already described 2 things. Your understanding and your hearing heart and mind, but also I know the difference between right and wrong. King Solomon sought wisdom specifically in order to distinguish between good and evil. Nobody else in my family could figure this shit out. Everybody got trapped in the magical trap and the curse, right? I'm about to deactivate this shit, but God, I need wisdom. In order to break this curse, in order to shed light, in order to be a being of light, in order to expose and to reveal all the traps of darkness, I gotta be able to discern the difference between good and evil. If I can't discern, then I'm gonna get tripped and trapped every fucking time. Right? King Solomon wanted to rule justly and fairly. And in order to do so, you have to be able to know which is which. Finally, the last true component of the wisdom that King Solomon requested was, I just want to please God. I just want to please God. This means that the ultimate intention behind every choice that I make, it was to govern God's people in a way that is pleasing to God. At the end of the day, I just want to go to bed and say, all right, I did, however I showed up today, whatever I did that was a part of my divine assignment, I know it was like just to have that peace and that comfort in how you perform in your mission. So the same wisdom that King Solomon didn't ask for riches and wealth and aesthetic or superficial or artificial things. Wisdom. You have that, y'all. That is what the curse breaker, that is what the light being carries. It is wisdom. And the wisdom is what allows the devil's tricks to not be able to take over your mind. What does the devil do? And this is what I mean, y'all. The very thing that the devil cannot do to you, but can do to everybody else, that trick is what was taught to the people around you in order for them to create a village, in order to stop you, right? And so when I say kin, it's not only family and relatives, it's everybody that they can get to relate to them about you. It's everybody that they can get to become familiar with how they think and feel about you. Those are the people that become a flying monkey. A flying monkey is going to assist a person who acts as an agent. They are an agent for an abusive individual. Often unknowingly. They may have to spread gossip. They may not even know that what they're doing is spreading gossip. They may be carrying out a plan of manipulation unknowingly. Nonetheless, that is a part of the trick or the trap. That's what the devil taught them how to do. So they are only able to come for you, one, if it's a whole lot of them, and most of them don't even know they're doing it. Which doesn't excuse the fuck shit, but I'm just saying that's the trick. That's what people are using. Everybody knows how to create flying monkeys. That's the greatest trick that the devil has taught. Right? And people move against you unknowingly. But if we're talking about it, obviously they're not doing it successfully, right? And so, yeah, y'all, this reading is about you as the curse breaker, as the light being, and probably the amount of flying monkeys that you have dealt with in your life. The people closest to you have that devilish trick. So yes, they have a curse. Yes, you come from cursed people, cursed bloodline. But there's one thing that these people do very well. It is gossip, it is slander, it is manipulate. That is the devil's magic. That's the devil's work right there, right? And I do have the devil's card. What does the devil card represent when it comes out? This is about that moment in life where the devil reaches out its hand and it grants you a release from the mundane. Y'all, I'm sure at many times in your life, the devil has reached out its hand in order to grant you something, and you knew goddamn well that it was the devil, right? But everybody else was like, oh my God, this is the moment I've been waiting for. Give me more, give me, right? Everybody else got hit by the same branch. And so, yes, they walk into the curse. They're trapped. But the devil also affords them with a little bit of magic in order to create more people like them, in order to make that tree stronger. It's harder for you to break the curse. It's harder for you to cut that tree down. If 50 people, 100 people, 200, 250, right? If so many people are getting hit by it. But the strength of your light has the ability to do. Can you imagine? The flying monkeys are a part of a village, but your kin are the nucleus of that, because that's the family you were born into. These people are using the tricks of the devil and may not even know it. And they're tricking people and tricking people and tricking people. And like the radius is just expanding and growing. You know what I'm saying? Like just something that's just growing. All right, y'all. So that's what I see in this reading. And it's really about your wisdom. So you, whoever I'm speaking to, you possess exactly what King Solomon requested from the Most High. And listen, King Solomon was young. And so your wisdom was known. The people that you were raised with, your family, they knew that you possessed this type of mind, this type of heart. They knew this when you were young. And so what was the way your life was manipulated, or the gossip that surrounds your life, it started early. You've been fighting this. You've been shining your light and chopping down this one fucking tree for a very long time. All right, y'all. I think, let me just look at my notes. Oh, so when the devil reaches out their hand or its hand or however it comes to him, this is how the flying monkeys, the devil wants to give you a release from the mundane. What do I mean when I say mundane? The dull, the boring, the ordinary, the routine. The devil is always going to promise you the Las Vegas strip, right? It's going to take you from the prairies to Vegas. But what do you have to pay, right? But you're going to learn some tricks along the way that's going to help the devil expand his real estate, right? The devil wants you to keep planting more trees, grow some more fucking cursed ass kids, right? So we can use them as flying monkeys. That's what the devil's going to do, right? Plant some more trees in this forest. Give me some more trees. Give me some more families that I can root myself in deeply, firmly. All right, y'all. And guess what? You get promised earthly and material pleasures. But at what cost? Everybody got hit in the head with a branch, not you. And because you didn't, you get to chop that motherfucker down. Y'all, I love you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.